So on this particular vehicle, and I would say big SUVs and trucks tend to have what's called a gearbox. The gearbox is in place of a rack and pinion. So you're never gonna have a gearbox and a rack and pinion. And if you have a rack, you're not gonna have a gearbox, and typically it's gonna be the smaller vehicles that are gonna have a rack and pinion versus a gearbox. But this particular gearbox right here lands right here for this vehicle. And then you're gonna see it's gonna have what is called a pitman arm. It's gonna also have an idler arm. It's gonna have a track bar here. And this is what's gonna start going into the suspension. This is actually what's steering and turning your vehicle. So as you turn your steering wheel, these components get moved, which is actually allowing for the vehicle to be able to move your wheels left and right here. All this all goes in and works within your power steering pump. So if you see here, like this is gonna be your idler arm, it's working over here. The gearbox itself is actually gonna be this guy right here. And again, it has its own arm. Both of these arms work together to be actually turned, and then these are your tie rods, and this is what's actually literally moving the wheels here. This gearbox here is where the power steering is going to be working with here, and obviously works with your power steering pump and your power steering lines, and it goes into your steering wheel. That's what's moving your vehicle here. As you go into your track bar, your tie rods here, those are your alignment components here. It's going to be able to help keep the vehicle straight. This right here is your sway bar. The big thing about sway bars, right, is that it's going to be able to handle the sway of the road here. The way I'd put this is the easiest way is that let's say you were going down I-70 and you're going downhill back into Denver, and you know how you go, you go through the mountains and there's a really big hill and you go loop, 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 round and around here. It would sway more. Your car would be actually shifting back and forth here. It would have a sense of instability without a sway bar. And that sway bar is actually what creates the firmness. That way your steering wheel and your front end feels the same motion and be smooth for you as well. You've got your knuckle. This is where your wheel bearing is actually in the middle here. It's kind of a non-visible situation. It's gonna be right here. It's where your wheel bearing comes into place. So whenever you have movement on your wheels, you can check it by, up and down movement here. Make sure your wheel bearing is nice and tight, which goes and works with your axle, which then tends to either go into your transmission or your differential. That's what's moving your wheels. That's actually what's making things turn here. These control arms here are what stabilize your entire front end, keep everything together, makes it nice and smooth here. And then you're either gonna have a shock or a strut. That's gonna be your vertical suspension. That's the smoothness for you, for your ride. It also influences your rideability on your tires as well. Those are gonna be kind of the main things here. This right here is your ball joint. It's actually how the control arm connects into the hub itself here or onto the knuckle. It's one of those main components. Like if you've ever been told, hey, you got a bad ball joint here, it's literally a fundamental piece of what's actually creating the structure behind your car here.